Hello and welcome to hello and welcome to 3 minutes after midnight. I am your host, Dr. Clark Schmidt. There we go. Okay. I am your host, Dr. Clark Schmidt. This morning I was going to take us on a tour um, to another haunted location in the city of Milwaukee, but I decided to talk about the Tarot and the chakra system. And the reason why I'm doing this is because last night I went to the local gin joint and had a couple of beers, and I got to talking to a young lady that asked me if I knew anything about giving readings with tarot cards, and I said, "Yeah, I do." Um, but my readings are a little bit different than mostly what other tarot readers give to their customers. And she said, "Well, what do you mean?" And I said, "Well, we we have what we call as energy systems of the body." And I went through naming what those systems are. I talked about the chakras, the aura, the chords, the psychic energies, the healing energies, and in relationship to tarot. And I said it's very difficult um, to give a reading with tarot and working with the chakra system. And she says, "Well, why?" I said, "Is because nobody has really done it." Okay, mostly people who read tarot just give a straight reading. They lay out different patterns of the cards, and they start just giving a reading to the person. Um, that is their client. I said, now I do know some. I got some friends that work with tarot astrology. Okay, they use astrology with the tarot as to give a reading, for an example. Or I do know a friend that works with tarot and the Kabbalah, or with the Tree of Life, and then I had to explain what the Tree of Life was. So I said, it takes years and years and years of learning tarot astrology, tarot, and the Kabbalah. And I said, I just created tarot with the chakra system, and I'm still learning myself. I'm still doing research. I'm still, practicing on myself. And she said, "Well, gee, that's really interesting." I said, "Well, yeah, it is. But like I said, it's a lot of hard work, and it is a lot of research and a lot of study. And sometimes I short circuit myself. And so I really told her. I said, well, I haven't given readings. I really haven't given readings in years." And she said, "Well, what type of readings did you do?" And I said, "Well, I gave straight direct." And she said, "Well, straight direct. Well, what is straight direct?" And I said, "Well, straight direct is not working with the tarot cards as as a tarot reader would. I work again with the chakra system, which means is I'm a clairsentient. I can tap into the chakras, and they can tell, and they will not talk to me, but by what I feel with by the colors of the chakra, it's and how they are moving, oscillating, you might say. It gives me some knowledge of the person, about the person themselves. But I said, what I want to do, I don't want to do it direct. I said, if I was going to go back into tarot reading, I would like to teach people who are tarot readers how to use the tarot cards, especially with the 21 major arcana, working with the chakras themselves, because I feel that the person who's giving the reading can be more the reader will be giving more in-depth detail of the person. So, say, like, for an example, let's look at the Kundalini. Now, the Kundalini, for example, um, is actually the eighth chakra. We have 8 major chakras, which is the Kundalini, the sexual, the solar plex, the root, the heart, the throat, the third eye, and the crown. But people who talk about the chakras do not operate or work with the Kundalini energy. They completely forget. They completely forget about that energy. But it is the eighth chakra. It's just like the 8 wonders of the world, you might say. Unless you talk about King Kong, who was the ninth, who was um, I'm sorry, the 7 wonders of the world, and King Kong was classified as the 8th wonder of the world. There we go. So say that King Kong is the Kundalini, the serpent energy. Okay, so 8 major chakras, 13 minor chakras equals 21 equals 21 chakras. And also with 21 Sephirah on the tree of life. Now, if a person's going to give a reading with the chakras, with the 21 Sephiras on the tree of life, they better learn, study what the 21 Sephiras of the tree consist in, what particular path though that that Safra is on, and also what does that Safra have to do in conjunction with organs of the body, for an example. Okay, so there's a lot more to it. In giving just a straight tarot, just giving a straight tarot reading. Okay, so what does with the Kundalini and the serpent energy? What tarot card would that out of the 21 major arcana in conjunction with temperance? All right. I would have to say temperance. And what is temperance? Is patience, harmony, bringing together into perfect union. Well, can say bringing together in perfect union is that once the Kundalini energy has been cracked and has exploded, and that particular serpent energy has exploded out from the crown chakra, it's going to make a perfect union, especially with you as moving into getting out of the lower mundane or the lower self, moving into the higher will, moving into true enlightenment, reaching your soul, moving into your soul. All right. So that card works that card works very well with the Kundalini. All right. Now let's look at the sexual for um, emotions, desires. Again, working with the ego, love. So I can say is by the research that I done with that is the Fool. All right. And what is the Fool? Bring beginning of an adventure, enthusiasm, being attentive, new school or job, unlimited possibilities. It can also, if the person's working with their ego, it can be thoughtlessness or carelessness, extravagance, folly, or obsession. So the Fool works very well with the sexual chakra. For the solar plex, what is the solar plex? It's healing, personal power, illumination, and what goes good with the solar plex? The magician, creativity, free will, self-reliance, skill, spontaneity, willpower, self-confidence, a good salesman, dexterity, ingenuity, but also can be also the magician can be deceptive. He can produce trickery or sleight of hand. So personal power, illumination, also with healing. The magician is perfect for the solar plex. What is the root? Grounding, survival. Well, the perfect card that goes with that is strength. And what is strength? Control over a situation, strength, courage, fortitude, conviction, energy, determination, defiance, action, confidence, accomplishment, conquest, fever, survival, by what I just read, by strength. Good, perfect card for the root chakra. For the heart is virtue. Well, there's only one card that can go with the heart, and that card is the lovers. Let's go with the throat. Communication, understanding, righteousness. The Hierophant. So let's look on. So what is the whoa, okay. What is the Hierophant? Tell you in a minute. Got to bring the card out. Thought I had it. Just give me a second here. Oops, give me a second, please. Okay, we want to Sun, I want to Chariot, I want Justice. Thought they were right in front. I thought I had them all out. The Devil, Death, Wheel of Fortune, the Star, the World, the Hanged Man, the Empress, the Emperor, the Hierophant. Oh, let's see what. Okay, the Fallen. Okay, there's still a couple more here. Let me bring these out. Oops, no, don't grab them. Where did it go? Oh, just a minute. One dropped on the floor. Oh, okay, don't need that one. What's this one? The Empress, the High Priestess, the Magician, the Higher. Okay, now we got them all out. Well, no, I don't. In fact, these are the wrong cards. Just a minute. Oops, what am I doing with these? Wrong. I got too many tarot cards mixed in. When I owned my school and store, That was one of the major products that people wanted was tarot cards. So we got them in from the crawling, from the trough to the beginners to um, let's see what are the ones that I buy. Uh, all right, I think we got them on. All right, 21, right? 21, 21. All right. Which one is the next one here? We said strength, heart, virtue, the lever. Oh, throat, communications. I said the Kata Hierophant. Okay, for the throat. Okay. Um, Fortune star, the world. Amen. The Empress, the Emperor. The Hierophant. Okay, here we go. The Hierophant. Ritualism, goodness, kindness, compassion, well-meaning person, platonic friend, or it could be inactivity, lack of conviction, timidity, uh, captive to one's own idea. Throat, what can be, and what's the throat? Communication, understanding, righteousness. So I think is that the Hierophant would be the perfect card for the throat. Okay. The third eye is spiritual, to see into other worlds, wisdom. The moon. Okay. The moon. Um, Deception, obscurity, deception, obscurity, trickery, dishonesty, danger, error, bad influences, insecurity, false friends, deceit, double D. Oh, did I say the moon? Yeah, okay. Okay, the third eye can be against spirit. Okay, okay. Again, I will have to say the moon, because with the third eye, what the clear sight. Okay, and what can be clear sight? Finding out the person that might be classified a friend of yours, or a family member, or your wife or a husband, girlfriend, neighbor. Okay, deception, obscurity, trickery, dishonesty, danger, error, bad influence, insincerity, false friends, deceit, double dealing, being taken advantage of, caution. That's what clear sight can show. Also, it can show for the spiritual aspect as well, to maybe to see guides, teachers, master teachers, sometimes angels, family members who have passed over. Okay, so the third eye can go one or two, can look into other worlds in that particular sense. So I would say that the moon is the perfect card for the third eye, and the crown is enlightenment, the true higher will, the self, the soul. And I think is that the hanged man is the perfect card for um, the crown chakra, which is suspension, transition, change, reversal of one's way of life, apathy. It can be sometimes boredom, abandonment, reunification, sacrifice, readjustment, regeneration, rebirth, and that's what happens when the Kundalini, the serpent energy, showers through the crown, as to give you that renewability of a whole new life, getting out of the lower self, the lower will, the lower mind, moving into the higher self, um, the higher will, or the macrocosm. Okay, once you have learned how to get rid of once you have cracked the egg, the Kundalini energy coming through the crown, you are getting out of the mundane world, the lower self, the lower mind, moving into from the microcosm into the macrocosm. True enlightenment. So I would have to say the Hanged Man is perfect, for the crown chakra. So those are the eight. So those are the eight tarot cards representing Kundalini, sexual, solar plex, the root, the heart, the throat, the third eye, and the crown. Now, how would you give somebody a reading with these particular cards working with other cards as to give a reading to that person? Well, that's very simple. Here's what you do is that you you give the cards to the person in their right hand. Okay, in the right hand. All right. You can tell that person to put the cards down, cover those eight cards with the right hand. Can have him or her just put their finger upward like this and tell them just to draw down universal energies and feel the energies filling the finger that is pointed up. And once they feel the universal energies to point at the hand, or can remove the hand from the cards and just have that energy enter the cards themselves. Okay, until they feel that the finger is now empty with that universal energy. Okay, now what they can do is, you still haven't touched the cards. Now what you do is that you have them lay out the eight cards. One like a train. Okay, what I mean by that is, show you here. Okay, see if I can do it this way. Okay, you see how the cards are laying down, just like that, just like a train. Okay, just like that, just like a train, and you keep going all the way down until those eight cards are out onto the table. Okay, now you can put those they can put those eight cards together. They can put the rest of the cards aside. They can grab the they can grab the pack, begin to shuffle, and you can tell them to shuffle as many times that they want to. Okay, and continue shuffling. Then tell them to cut the cards, lay down, ask her what chakra does that person want how should I say, for the reading itself, what chakra do they want to be read as for that reading? The Kundalini, till you get to the crown. And let's say they want to know about the root, for grounding, for survival. So then you tell her to lay out 3 cards next to strength. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So to say that the three cards that came up were the Queen of Coins, the Queen of Cups, and the King of Wands. So the King of Wands was the last card that was drawn, and so you work with the with strength to the chakra. So let's see, what is the King of Wands? An honest and conscious person, maturity, devotion, friendliness, sympathy, educated gentleman, generally a married person, a fatherly person. Say that the person's not married. So you say an honest and conscientious person, devotion and friendliness. Okay, so you say is that, well, by with strength, and again, what is strength? I gotta find the cards again. I should never do that. Okay. So what is strength? Again, just give me a second. I gotta find these. I don't know why I keep doing that. What is strength? Strength. Okay, so what is strength again? Which is control over a situation. Strength, courage, fortitude, conviction, energy, determination, defiance, action, confidence, accomplishment, conquest. Okay, so you can say is that with the chakra, again, with going with the chakra, which was what again? The root is grounding, survival. So say is that, well, with again with strength as control over a situation, strength, courage, fortitude, yada yada. And with the King of Wands, an honest and conscientious person, which you are, which you think that you are, but you could work on it just a little bit more. Just a little bit more. Okay? And the more that you work on being an honest and conscientious person, you're going to become more mature. You're going to have more devotion and friendliness towards the people that surround you. Okay, because you're going to have that courage, that fortitude, the conviction to work with, the energy, the determination. You want to survive. You don't want to be caught up in the quagmire, being caught in quicksand without anybody being around you, and you don't have nothing to grab a hold of to pull yourself out. Okay, so King of Wands working with the chakra to strength. Now comes the Queen of Cups, a warm-hearted and fair person, poetic, beloved, adored person, good friend and mother. If you were married, a devoted wife, honesty, loving intelligence, gift of vision. Okay, being warm-hearted, because you are an honest and conscientious person. You are learning maturity. You are learning devotion. And again, as of the friendliness. Courage, fortitude, conviction. That's what you got to continue working with. You got to get into that grounding. You got to get into that survival mode. Okay? Are you following me how this is all beginning to work, especially now with the chakra system? Now you're starting to give a complete reading on this person. I mean, a complete reading. Queen of Coins, prosperity and well-being, luxury, extreme comfort, security, magnificence, grace, dignity, a rich person, but generous and charitable, a noble soul. Well, after learning maturity and being an honest and conscientious person by giving devotion to friendliness, um, you are learning, you are educating yourself on how to on how to become grounded, on how to survive, because now again you are a warm-hearted and fair person, uh, poetic, poeticness, beloved. You are adorned. You are becoming an adorned person. You're becoming really strong, good friends. Devoted. You are becoming more of a devoted wife. If married, your honesty, loving, intelligence, gift of vision. You might learn how to become. You might begin to open yourself up with psychic abilities, working with the third eye, maybe, or maybe becoming a mental a medium. Yes, okay. So there's a whole reading with. So here you can say is here that whole reading is with the person. Of course, you can also add with the. Also, you can add is that well-being, luxury, getting into with the money. Okay, getting with the money as to survive means is getting maybe a better job, maybe opening up a small business. Um, a rich person, maybe maybe not as rich as Warren Buffett, but maybe a rich person in the sense of moving more into your spiritual self. You understand? Are you beginning to follow here? And maybe you might get married. You might find that right person. Be it male, female, being male or female depends on her sexual or their sexual orientation. Okay, so that is a complete reading. Now, if the person wants to maybe go a little bit further, then um, you say as well. They might say, "Well, can I go a little bit farther?" And you say, "Well, what else do you want to know?" Well, um, maybe working with the solar plex, with the magician. Okay, so now you got the magician. Okay, and what is the magician again? The magician is creativity, free will, self-reliance, skill, spontaneity, willpower, self-confidence, a good salesman, dexterity, ingenuity, but sometimes the magician can be deceptive, trickery, sleight of hand. So now you tell them to pick up the cards again, and I'm going to need, how do I do that? Ah, looking the star, the world, the king ones, the just give me a second. I don't know why I do that all the time. The magician. I'm going to keep that out. Okay, so now the magician's out. They want to for what did I say, for the solar plex. Okay, tell them again. They already energized the card, so you don't have to go through that. She does not, or he does not have to go through that. And you tell them to shuffle again until they are done. Just tell them again to cut the deck and lay out 3 cards. So let's lay out the 3 cards. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so the third cup that was laid out, the third cup that was laid out is the 4 of Cups. weariness, of aversion, disgust, disappointment, unhappiness, bitter experience, stationary period in one's life, material success does not ally discontentment. Okay, so they have to learn, because of the way that the Four of Cups have come out, the Magician to the solar plex. And again, what is the solar plex? Is that, again, it's healing. Okay, you don't want to use personal power or illumination, but it's more for healing oneself. Even though with the sexual, right, was right, with the sexual is what you told them about the sexual. You're going to say, well, there's going to be times that you're going to have some damn drawbacks, and these drawbacks are weariness. You're going to be sometimes have disappointments in your life, and you might have some type of bitter experience, and it could be maybe the first guy or woman that you have come in contact with, that you feel is that, oh boy, this is the one, and you go out with that person for a while through dating, and you find out after 8 weeks, hey, this is really the wrong person. I mean, it's like ordering the wrong, in a restaurant, and they made the mistake of your order, and you tell the waitress or waiter to take back the food and give you the order and give you the food that you actually ordered. Okay, boom, that's what happened. So grin and bear it, but things are going to work out. So now we look at the Three of Cups. Resolution of a problem, conclusion, solace, healing, satisfactory results, fulfillment, compromise, friendship among women, inspiration and arts. Very well said. From the Four of Cups to the Three of Cups, a big turnaround. Willpower, self-confidence. All of a sudden, are you following? You see how everything is beginning to fit into place here? Then comes the last card. The first card that was laid down was the Three of Swords. Absence, sorrow, disappointment, strife, removal, dispersion, division, opposition, separation, delay, tears, unhappiness, affliction, grief. Well, again, go back to the Three of Cups, to the Magician, to the solar plex for healing, resolution of a problem, conclusion of, satisfactory results, fulfillment, inspiration. Everything's going to work out all right. That big thunderstorm, it did its job and it moved on. You might have to clean up the mess, but once the mess is cleaned up, everything is refreshed, everything is renewed, everything looks clean, right? So that is how you give an actual in-depth reading with the tarot cards to the chakra system. And you're going and usually you're going to find out by the more readings that you give using this particular method, the more is that you will begin to understand. Okay, but believe it or not, it took me a while to become illuminated on how to put all this all together. But last night, I think, was the kicker for me to bring the subject up instead of going to a haunted house, or a haunted location in Milwaukee, which we will do. We'll continue on our ghost tour of the city that I have investigated throughout the years. Um, and we're going to still have some fun here. Of course, there might be other types of videos on a subject like this, not on the same subject, but on a subject like this, or on my last video with um, Spirit apps, um, and for downloading on your on your cell phone, and how to use them in an investigation. So, like I said, this is a lot different. Um, this is the reason why I call it 3 minutes after midnight, is because it is something different. Is going to uh, be talked about. It's just not going to be ghost stories. Okay, I'm going to try to make this channel entertaining as possible, and not to be boring. Okay, if I come up with any new revelations on a different technique, it might be on the tarot cards. It might be on maybe getting into mediumship a little bit or whatever. I would definitely put it up on. I would definitely put it up on 3 minutes after midnight. So I hope that you learned something. I hope that you enjoyed the subject matter. So until next time, catch you on the flip side.